of the world, now I'm living. And the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah.
Hi, it's Ann Perry. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about karmic lessons. This is a suggestion that came from Anna A. Thanks, Anna, for the suggestion. It was in response to a video I created a few months ago that said, what do you guys want to learn? So anytime you want to learn something, let me know. So Anna wants to know what's up with the karmic lessons. So what are they and how do I know if I even have any? All right, let's go find out. Okay, so karmic lessons are not to be confused with karmic debts. Okay, karmic debts are numbers like the number 19, 13, 16, and 14. Okay, those are karmic debt numbers. It's not related to karmic lessons. Karmic lessons are things that point to weaknesses that need to be dealt with in this lifetime. They're kind of annoying and they kind of ride along with you through your life, but they don't have the same heavy-hitting impact that a karmic debt does. And they're found by analyzing your full name at birth. Okay, it has to be your birth certificate name and finding which numbers are actually missing from that name. Couldn't be simpler, or I wouldn't be doing it, right? Because remember, I'm a simple kind of gal. The average number of karmic lessons is around 2, but 4 or 5 is really not uncommon. I'm an overachiever, so I have more than 2. It's not uncommon to have no karmic lessons whatsoever in your chart. But you know what? The good thing about karmic lessons is they help to give you a little bit of direction in your life. So, you want to embrace them rather than fighting them all the time. You're never going to get past it if you keep fighting them and resisting them. We need to kind of embrace them and invite them in, if you will, rather than stopping them. So, karmic lessons actually point to something that's lacking in your life. They actually add to your life experience. The whole reason that we're here, we all signed contracts that said, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn that. Whatever your soul's contract says, you wrote it. And in that soul's contract included all the lessons that you wanted to learn. And some of them come from the fact that you have missing letters in your name, which creates karmic lessons. So if your karmic lesson is the same as a core number, so remember your core numbers are your life path number, your expression number, your heart's desire number, and your birthday number. You will see it on a chart if someone's done a print chart like I would do for you in a reading. It's going to show that that is a karmic lesson that has been modified. So say, for example, you have a 7 karmic lesson. The 7 karmic lesson will be reduced in its intensity, so it's referred to as a modified karmic lesson if the 7 is one of your core numbers. Okay, so finding your karmic lessons. In order to determine your karmic lessons, we first have to determine which letters are missing from your birth name. Now remember, this is not the name that you currently use today. This is your birth name. So this is the alphabet that we use that was created by Pythagoras, and you can see that there's the numbers 1 through 9 right across the top, and there are letters that vibrate to the energy of the 1, to the 2, to the 3, and so on and so forth. So here we go. Here's my birth name, Anne Louise Drummond. Once again, guys, I'm not trying to make this about me. I just think it's easier for me to teach about me so and make it easier for you guys to understand. So on careful examination of this full birth name, being mine, we see that I don't have any energy relating to the 2, the 7, or the 8. So these are my karmic lessons. So for example, when we look across the top here, you need to ask yourself, do I have any 1 energy, or do I have any, better to that, do I have any A, J, or S's in my name? Well, first initial right there is an A, so that eliminates this number 1 as a potential karmic lesson. Do I have any B's, K's, or T's in my name? You look straight across. No, there's no B's, K's, or T's. Means I do not have any of those letters in there. Therefore, I do have a karmic lesson around the 2. Let's look at the energy of the 3. Do I have any C's, L's, or U's? Yep, there's a U. Okay, and there's an L sitting there. There's a few more. So we know that that is not going to be an issue. The 4 energy, the D, the M, and the V. Let's look across here. Do we have any D's or M's? Yep, there's D, there's M's. Okay, so we know that that's not going to be an issue. What about the 5 energy, the E, the N, and the W? Do you see any N's in here, or E's or W's? Yeah, there's some N's there, there's an E there. So we know that I don't have any karmic lessons regarding to the 5. The 6, F, O, or X. Do I have any F's? No. Do I have any O's? I do. There's an O there, and there's one there. So that eliminates the 6. What about the 7? Do I have any G's, P's, or Y's? No, I don't see any G, P's, or Y's there. That means I have a karmic lesson of 7. Now let's look at the 8, the H, the Q, or the Z. Do I have any H's in my name? No. Any Q's? No. Any Z's? No. So that means I've got a karmic lesson of 8. What about an I or an R? Do I have an I in my name? Yep, there it is. There's an I right there. It means I do not have a karmic lesson of 9. Super simple. Okay, so we know that I have the karmic lessons relating to the 2, the 7, and the 8. So a person who has the karmic lesson of the 2, this is a person who needs to learn patience and a little bit of diplomacy. I confess that's an issue for me sometimes. We need to learn how to tone it down, when to be assertive without feeling any need to be rewarded or praised. That was a big one for me. It took me a long time to figure that one out because, I really lacked a lot of confidence, believe it or not. I know sometimes I come across as larger than life, but I had to really work through my shit in my lifetime to get to where I am right now. I really had to be okay with who I am, to really understand who I was and to accept who I was, my authentic self. So all along, I was kind of looking for everybody else to kind of pat me on the back to be my measure of whether I had done a good job or not, I don't do that anymore so much. They also need to learn to be part of a team and to cooperate with others. It's not that I can't be a team player, I sure can, but I do prefer to work by myself. So working in a team is a little bit more difficult for me than what it would be working as a lone wolf, which I prefer to say. Need to learn how not to be so self-centered. What's up with that? I'm an Aries. Of course I'm going to be self-centered. It comes with the territory. These people need to be more compassionate and sensitive to other people. So sometimes we can be a little self-absorbed because the 2 tends to be a little bit sensitive. So we're thinking about our own sensitivities, right? Let's take a look at the 7. So in my particular case, my life path number is a 7, okay? And the fact that I was born on the 25th day produces also another 7 energy because 2 plus 5 equals 7. So that means that this karmic lesson is not a biggie for me. It exists because we don't have the letters associated with the number 7. However, it's not going to be in my face. I'm not going to feel this one. This is what we refer to as a modified karmic lesson. However, if it really was, in my face, these are people who would not be able to handle their own emotions. These are people who don't possess the ability to master a specific talent. I get that. I do understand that aspect of it. This 7 energy, regardless of whether it shows up in a karmic lesson or whether it's a karmic or whether it's a life path number or a birthday number or whatever, even expression, heart's desire, whatever. If you have a solid 7 core number, you have a need to specialize in something. And sometimes because the 7s have a lot of self-doubt associated with them, they tend to have a hard time connecting the dots to what they're really supposed to be doing. So it wasn't until I found numerology like 16, 17 years ago and started practicing professionally that I really understood what my passion was. And my passion became my life purpose, because that's the key to it, right? If you know what your passion is, you'll know what your purpose is, right? And to own it, to actually own it, to be comfortable with it and own it. So you do need, when someone's got a karmic lesson of 7, or you're just a core number of 7, you're somebody who really needs to master a specific talent and really stick with it. They need to learn how to be their own critics without condemning themselves. Yeah, I confess I am very hard on myself, for sure. Superficial understanding of all matters will only prevent them from realizing their potential. It goes right back to, you've got to focus on one thing and get really good at it and share it with somebody else. That's the key to really living and loving the energy of the 7. So people having the karmic lesson number 7 in their childhood, they normally turn into introverts and disconnect themselves from reality, adding to their emotional turmoil. I spent an awful lot of time in my room listening to my music, for sure, as a kid. But I don't know if that was related to the karmic lesson or moreover that 7s like time by themselves. That's the reality of that. All right, let's take a look at the karmic lesson of 8. A person who has the number 8 missing from his or her name, these people are very independent and very self-regulating. They resist authority and hate being micromanaged. Oh my God, did I say that out loud? That is so true. That is why I'm self-employed. That is why I will never, ever in my entire lifetime ever again work for anybody else, okay? Because I cannot be micromanaged. It drives me bananas to have somebody control my calendar or tell me what I have to do in any given day. No, that's not going to happen. So I have learned that about myself through this karmic lesson. They tend to focus on the pursuit of money and status while leaving behind valuable relationships. I can't say that that's been my truth, for sure. These people need to know how to manage their money. Absolutely, no question. I definitely had my struggles with that in my younger years. This lesson guides a person on knowing their boundaries and also the need of limiting their expenditures. They also need to learn how to be well organized. The organization I haven't got an issue with. Knowing my boundaries, yeah, I would say so. For a long time, I had a very hard time saying no. I had a very hard time setting really healthy boundaries for myself. And the 8 isn't just about spending money. A lot of people confuse the 8 energy with being all about the bling kind of thing. It's definitely not my thing. It's definitely not a lot of other people's thing. And I'm actually going to post a link to a video that I did on the energy of the 8, because there's a lot of myths related to the 8. It really isn't always about the money. Sometimes it has a lot to do with being able to say no and being okay with saying no, setting healthy boundaries for yourself. It's also about stepping away from things you're addicted to. Could be chocolate, could be, food, drugs, alcohol, whatever, but understanding there's limitations in all things, right? So the 8 is really related to limitations as well as boundaries, and learning how to deal better with your money. All right, so the question is probably you're saying, well, what happened to the rest of the karmic lessons? Well, guess what? I created another PDF document for you guys, and I posted it on my website. All you need to do is go to AnnPerryNumerologist.com, click on the link that says resources, and down below that it'll have a little tab there that you can go to that has karmic lessons defined. It's even got the little alphabet thing there for you as well, super easy. And there's a PDF document, it's free to download, and it'll give you all kinds of information and help you to understand what karmic lessons you might be dealing with. So I would love for you to stay in touch with me. I have 3 new opportunities coming up for online courses. Cannot wait to share them with you. It's coming, I promise you, it's coming soon. And if you want to know what's coming up, make sure you sign up for my newsletter on AnnPerryNumerologist.com. Would love it if you'd follow me on Facebook. I work really hard at posting something kind of cool every single day that teaches you a little bit more about numerology. So if you're a keener, stick with me there. And I sure would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, because I love to stay in touch with you guys. So if you want to post a comment, if you'd like to share my videos, I'd be so grateful. A little like button would be helpful too. I always forget to ask people to do that. But whatever you can do, you know what? I really appreciate it. I just want to share the word and share whatever information I can with everybody else. So thank you. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend time with me. I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great one, everyone. Take care for now. Bye-bye.